Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, then I'm so happy to meet you. If not, then welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a little bit of a Q&A / get to know me. I put over on my Instagram stories a question box, got loads of questions regarding the first few videos I've done about myself, about autism, about epilepsy. So yeah, I have them written down here, so I'm going to get them in a second. But first of all, if you like the sounds of this video, give it a big thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications bell, and you will get notified every time I have a new upload. So let's get into this because we've got a good bit to get through. So the first question I got is, what is a sensory overload? I spoke about this briefly in my Autism Mythbusters video, but I didn't really go into details. So a sensory overload is a build-up of sensory information. And this could be smells, noise, sensation of clothes. And this can lead to an individual being anxious, irritated, stressed, or shutting down. For me, the example I think of is if I'm in a shop with a friend or with my mother or whatever, walking around, we're looking at clothes, and there's music on in the background as there is in shops. There's people chatting, there's loads of people around. I'm trying to chat to the person I'm with. That's just too much for me. I can't focus on what I'm looking at then, so I'm going to be all over the place. So that's, for me, one example of when there's just too much sensory information to process. And that's what a sensory overload is when there's just too much going on and you just can't handle it, and it's too much sensory information for an autistic person to process. So I hope that explains that a little bit better. The next question was, somebody asked, did I go to university, and if so, what did I study? So I went to UCD, University College Dublin, after I did my leaving cert, and I did a BA degree in English with drama, and then I took a year out and I went back and did a master's in drama and performance studies, which I absolutely loved. I think the master's for me was probably my favourite part. I absolutely loved it. Even though it was kind of tougher in many ways, I just absolutely loved it. So yeah, that's what I've done college-wise. Then kind of on a similar note is somebody's asked, how did I find the transition from secondary school to university? So first of all, I will say, if you check out As I Am, an autism charity, I did do an article last year for them about transitioning from secondary school to university. If anybody wants to check that out, they can. But for me, it's a big transition. I think it's a big transition for absolutely anybody when you're going from secondary school to university. It's such a big change. I think for me, probably the hardest part was when I went to UCD for my degree. I lived on campus, so I was living up in UCD during the week, and then I was going home at the weekends. For me, being away from home, I found that really, really, really difficult. And I think that's probably why I thrived a bit more in the masters, because I was commuting up and down. There wasn't as many hours. I could live at home and study, and I've always found that I kind of work better from at home, and I prefer being at home, really. Then you have the social side of things, and I found I was always so a person, I'd sign up to societies, but more often than not I just wouldn't go because it was a bit overwhelming. It was just hard to push myself to get out there. I always found it really, really hard to actually make myself go to something. That was something that was really, really hard for me. So that transition, it was difficult, but at the same time, I do think that I preferred university to secondary school. I mean, you do have freedom to be individual more than you would in secondary school. Obviously, you don't have uniforms. You can wear what you want to wear. I probably have mentioned before that me and the school uniform didn't mix very well. The material for me just was really, really itchy and uncomfortable. So to be able to wear what I wanted to wear on a daily basis was great. So I feel like it can be a difficult transition, but there's so many positives to it too. And I did speak about that in that article. So if you want to check that out, please do. Moving along, this is a question that popped up. Why is the word Asperger's no longer used or not used as much? Now, I know some people do still identify as being Asperger's. This is not me saying you shouldn't or anything like that, but I think one of the reasons why people have moved away from that is because the man who coined the term Asperger's, Hans Asperger's, had involvement with the Nazis. So basically, his involvement, he was a doctor, and he helped in the selection process of sending disabled children to a clinic where euthanasia was carried out. So there was almost 800 disabled children killed in this particular clinic. And so I feel like a lot of people in the autism community have wanted to move away from having any association with Hans Asperger. But as I said, some people do prefer to identify as Asperger's, and there is, I'm not here to say that's wrong or right, but I'm just saying that is why a lot of people have moved away from that, is that involvement or cooperation he had with the Nazis. I hope that clears it up a little bit. Moving along. Why should we not use person-first language? So, person-first language has been widely used for many years, and many people are encouraged to use person-first language. So that would be saying, I would always say I am an autistic person, I am a disabled person. Person-first language would be saying, I am a person with autism, I am a person with disabilities. Again, a little bit like the Asperger's thing, some people prefer using person-first language, and again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that if that is the way you prefer to identify by using person-first. I think a lot of people prefer to use identity-first language. So that's, as I said, me saying I am disabled, I am autistic. And I think the reason for that is because I am disabled as part of my identity. That's just the way it is. It's not something I carry around with me. I am disabled, I am autistic, and I think that's why a lot of people prefer to use identity first language. So let's move along. So a few people asked this sort of question in regards to schools, universities and work, and it was, what could schools, universities, work do to help accommodate disabled students or disabled workers? So for me, just a few things off the top of my head is I do feel like the education system in secondary schools is very much built for the neurotypical person. Junior cert level, you have 10, 11, 12 subjects. That for anybody is a lot to take in. And I feel like, how best to put this, I feel like secondary school could be more accommodating to the individual person rather than just having one size fits all, because not everybody can learn in the same way as everybody else for various different reasons. So I feel like continuous assessment would be fantastic. It gives people the opportunity to work over time. Some people are not good with exams, just like some people are better at exams than continuous assessment. But if you have both there, it kind of helps to cater to a wider group of students. Another thing I would say is I think having the option of perhaps less subjects, I think would be really great, because I know personally when I went to university and I was able to pick modules that I was really interested in, and having less subjects for me helped me to learn, because when you have so many subjects, when you have maths, Irish, history, science, you have all these going on, it's really, really hard to learn, and it can be very overwhelming for a lot of people. So I feel like if the education system could cater a little bit more to everybody and sort of to the individual, really. So I think that would be what I would say for schools. In regards to work then, I think, and I've heard other people mention this as well, is to have like a quiet area or a safe space where somebody can go and chill out for a little while if they're feeling overwhelmed. Being able to, if it's an office job or something like that, being able to get up and move around can be really helpful. Obviously, accessibility to workplaces is extremely important. So they would be some of the top things I think that will be really important for schools, colleges, and for workplaces. So moving on. This is an interesting one. We're getting to the juicy stuff. How do you find dating as a disabled person? So first of all, I have been on quite a few dates. But until recently, I would probably not have said on a first date, I am a disabled person. Probably because I didn't have the confidence. Whereas I feel now that I have I speak about on my Instagram, I speak about on my YouTube channel, I feel like I would be in a more comfortable position to say to somebody on a date, I'm disabled. You know, I have a YouTube channel where I talk about this, I talk about it on my Instagram, and because I am talking about it out there, there's no point in me not telling somebody about it. And for me, it shouldn't be any different to saying anything else about myself, saying I am disabled. So that would be what I would say in regards to kind of dating as a disabled person. I mean, with COVID lockdowns, there haven't been a whole lot of dates, but when there is, I'll come back to you on that one. So, oh yeah, this was another one in regards to epilepsy. A few people were wondering this. Do you have to continue taking meds for your epilepsy, or can you stop now that you are seizure free? So what I would say in regards to that one is that some people, when they are seizure free for a certain length of time, would probably try coming off their meds. For me personally, it's not something I'm interested in doing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The meds are what has helped me to become seizure free, and for me, I just wouldn't feel like rocking the boat, chancing seizures coming back, and knocking everything off balance again. That's my personal feeling on it. I would prefer to stick with my meds because they're working, and yeah, that's my opinion on it. I know that some people might be different, and that's absolutely fine, but my opinion is the meds are working for me. I've been lucky enough to be able to find meds that work for me, so I just feel like, I would feel like there's no reason why I would stop. I think we have one more. So the last one was, what made me start a YouTube channel? So this is an interesting one. First of all, can we appreciate the cardigan with the big flowers? Absolutely loving it. That's from I saw it first. It's so nice. But anyway, gone off topic. I do that a lot. But yeah, why did I start a YouTube channel? I think number one, I love YouTube. I follow a lot of different people on YouTube. I love watching their videos. I love watching their content. So that would be number one. Number two, I quite enjoy making content, and I want to raise awareness about what it's like to be disabled. I want to chat about it on here. I want to hopefully help people to understand more about being disabled, or educate people a little bit. But yeah, raising awareness is one of the most important things with doing this for me, and I really hope that I am doing that. But yeah, I love YouTube. I love creating content. I love chatting to you guys. So yeah, I suppose I just really enjoy doing it, and that's what made me start it. And I feel like I'm at that point in life where I'm very confident in myself and confident with being disabled. I don't feel like it's something I can't share with people. And the response I've had so far on YouTube, Instagram, people I know, has been so positive. And I do want to say a big thank you for that as well, because it has been so positive, and I really do appreciate that. But I think that's going to conclude today's video. I hope I haven't babbled on too much. I hope you've gotten to know me a little bit better, and I hope you've gotten to know a little bit more about some of the disabilities I've spoken about so far. So thank you very much for watching. I shall see you next week. Don't forget to give this a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and of course subscribe to my channel, turn on your notifications bell, and you'll get notified the next time I have an upload. Thank you very much. I'll leave my Instagram handle at the end of this video if you want to follow me over there too. Thank you. Bye.